Hello everyone and welcome back to Ben's Pantry. Today we're going to be making crumpets. Traditionally it's an English dish, but you can make this any way you want. So first of all we're going to start with 350 millilitres of whole milk, and we're going to warm this up to about 35 degrees in a saucepan. Here I'm using a thermometer, but you could just as easily use your fingers just to see how hot the milk is. You just want to ensure it's not too hot that you can't touch it. If the milk is too hot, this could kill the yeast, and we obviously do not want that to happen. Once the milk has come to around 35 degrees, you can then remove the milk from the stove and transfer it to a jug. You then want to add 1 teaspoon of sugar to the milk. This is essentially food for the yeast, and this will create carbon dioxide bubbles that we see when we're using yeast. And you want to give that a good stir to ensure all the sugar is dissolved. You then want to add 14 grams of fast action dried yeast to the milk mixture. And again, give this a good stir to ensure all the yeast is all moist from the milk. And then you can set this aside at room temperature for about 15 minutes until you see some frothing action on top. Once it's rested for 15 minutes, you should be able to see the bubbles on top of the mix. You can now set this aside. You now want to get a large bowl and a sieve, and you want to sieve in 200 grams of a plain flour and then 150 grams of a strong bread flour. And just sieve the flour into the bowl. Next, give the yeasty milk mix a stir and place the whole amount into the flour. You then need to mix that for around 5 minutes. This is essentially kneading the batter, but it will help develop the gluten in the mix. If you have a stand mixer, you could use it, but I didn't bother because it's just much easier doing it by hand. Once you have mixed it for 5 minutes, it should look wet and look like a thick batter. You then want to scrape down the sides of the bowl so you can see how far the batter has risen when we prove it. You want to grease some cling film and place it on top of the bowl to ensure it won't stick when the batter has risen. You then need to leave the batter at room temperature for around an hour or until the batter has doubled in size. After the batter has doubled in size, just get a spatula or a wooden spoon and mix it around to knock the air out. If you like this video so far and would like to see more, please consider subscribing to my channel. After you've mixed the batter around a bit, you then want to pour out 150 millilitres of warm water around 35 degrees, and to that add 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda or baking soda and a pinch of salt and mix well. Once the bicarbonate and salt have dissolved, you want to add it to the batter. You may want to add half at a time as it can be tricky to mix it all in at once. You don't want to mix this too hard, otherwise it may go everywhere, so just mix it slowly until it's fully mixed in and your batter is smooth and has a dropping consistency. You then want to let the batter rest for about 20 minutes. You don't need to cover it, but you want to see some bubbles forming on top of the batter. Next, get yourself a large heavy base frying pan and your crumpet rings. You want to grease your rings with your oil or butter and place some oil in the pan as well. Turn the heat on to a medium heat. You don't want to cook these on a high heat. It's sort of like a slow and low kind of recipe. Once your pan is hot, using a ladle, pour some mixture into one of the rings, but only fill it halfway up, and do the same for however many rings you have. You want to cook the crumpets on this side for about 7 to 8 minutes or until brown. You can see the air bubbles here are popping and they're filling back up with the batter. This means they're not done yet. You'll be able to see when they are done by when the bubbles pop and it doesn't fill up with any batter. Once the crumpets are brown on that side and they are cooked, flip them over either by using tongs or an oven glove try and be a bit more careful than I was. And remember, the rings are hot, and cook them on the other side for around 3 minutes or until golden brown. So cook them on the other side for around 3 minutes or until golden brown, and then take these off and place them onto a wire rack. So there you have it, that is my recipe for crumpets. These are normally served breakfast time, but to be honest, you can have them whenever you want. They are best served warm, but you can freeze these, and once they're defrosted, just pop them in a toaster and they're perfect. Here I'm serving mine with butter and jam, but to be honest, you can put really whatever you want on these. You could put Marmite or Vegemite, cream cheese, any jam, even probably make a sandwich out of these. It's quite a versatile bread really. Again, if you like this video and you want to watch more, please consider subscribing, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. As always, the recipe for this video is in the description below, and whilst you're there, you could always check out my social medias. All the links are in the description.